Hi everyone, you're watching Tamit Saleh's Tennis Forum. And wow, what a day of tennis today was. Novak Djokovic leads Team Serbia to win the inaugural ATP Cup. For me, a massive success this tournament was. We were treated to a early Rafa Novak final. And yeah, I just wanted to release this video to briefly talk about it, the successes and failures of the tournament, a little bit of what's to come maybe in Australia, and also to give you guys the platform, the forum, to discuss amongst each other as well. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, as I do release weekly tennis videos. If you want to check out my last video, then I'll be putting a link up here somewhere and also in the description below. But wow, Team Serbia, first ever winners of the ATP Cup. Without further ado, let's roll the intro. So, Novak Djokovic beat Rafa Nadal today, straight sets, 6-2, 7-6. It was actually his 19th consecutive set against Rafa on the hard courts. That's an amazing and quite unbelievable stat. To win 19 consecutive sets against someone like Rafa, nothing short of spectacular there. Many people, so I released a poll yesterday saying, who do you think is going to win, Team Serbia or Team Spain? Over 300 votes came in, and 60% of you guys thought Team Spain would win, 40% Team Serbia. However, looking at the comments, a lot of people, they were saying that they expect Djokovic to beat Nadal, however Spain to come through, because they thought RBA would win the first tie against Lajovic and then in the doubles as well. So most of it went to what people predicted. To be honest, I was in the same boat. I did expect Djokovic to beat Rafa on the hard court, but then I did think Spain would just have a bit too much. One little change of plans was that Rafa Nadal, he did not play in that doubles due to fatigue from the previous match, but his replacement was quite an accomplished doubles player in his own right, Feliciano Lopez. If you remember, he won Queens with Andy Murray last year, so you know, it's not a bad shout. Novak Djokovic, of course, came back out after beating Rafa and led, himself and Trojki led Serbia to first ever ATP Cup win. Now, I woke up early this morning. I did see the entirety of Djokovic Nadal. I must say that first set from Novak, it was quite spectacular. Really, really efficient. It was quite. It reminded me of their Australian Open final from last year, where it was quite a one-sided demolition affair. First set really all went with the Serb. One little stat they showed was the positions in which both players were hitting their ground strokes. It showed that Rafa, he was already behind the baseline to begin with, and the longer the rallies went on, his position just went further and further backwards. And with Novak, it was the opposite. So he was initially already very close to the baseline. He was going more forward. So it really showed that Novak was the aggressor, and Rafa was just, he couldn't really get a hold in the rallies. 6-2 in the first set. Second set, it was a lot more competitive. In the sixth game, so it was 3-2 to Rafa going on serve. I remember that sixth game, Rafa had 5 break points. It was actually the only game, I believe, in which Rafa had any break points on the Novak serve. The rest of the match, Novak serving was quite a one-sided affair. But yeah, in that sixth game, Rafa was love 40 up, 3 break points. Novak came through, and then he went to juice, break point a few times. And yeah, Novak, he served, I think, 3 aces on those break points, so he really got himself out of trouble with his serve. Novak then had a few break points on Rafa's serve, which was saved as well. 15-40, I remember. Went to a tie break. Rafa got the early mini break, but then Novak turned it around and managed to win the match. Straight sets. For me, this is quite a important moment for Novak, perhaps. This week, in fact, he beat Medvedev earlier on. Same thing with Medvedev. Novak raced through the first set, got the break early in the second, and they had like a 15-minute long game where Medvedev did break back, and that really pulled him back into the match. That reminded me of the Cincinnati match earlier last year, where Novak was also a set and a break up. Medvedev just turned it around, but I feel like Novak needed that win against Medvedev just to assert some authority again, that mental side as well, that I can beat Medvedev. Remember, he had lost to Medvedev 2 times in a row last year after beating him in Australia. So Yeah, he beat Medvedev, he beat Rafa, he led Team Serbia to the first ATP Cup win. It was a fantastic weekend for Novak. I think going into Australia now, please do let me know what you think about this. I think Djokovic's main threats are the next gen. I personally think if he meets Rafa or Roger in the semis or the finals, I think he's got the better of them. For me, his biggest threats would be, of course, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Dominic Thiem perhaps. But yeah, it looks good for Novak. What did you think of the ATP Cup, by the way? That is one thing I want to know. I did get to watch quite a lot of it. I was mostly impressed by Team Australia. They seem to really kick in. Nick Kyrgios, in team tournaments, I don't know what it is about this guy. He seems to really enjoy and excel in team tournaments. Him and Di Manon made a great pairing. Yeah, they beat Team GB in that tight doubles, which I was obviously quite upset about. But I thought the ATP Cup was a massive success. Whether we need both the ATP Cup and the Davis Cup, that's another question. And I want you guys, what do you think? Do we need both, or should they be merged? That's what a lot of players are saying. It just doesn't seem normal to have two team tournaments only 6 weeks apart. So yeah, I think they should be merged, but I think there's a lot of politics behind it with the ITF and the ATP, whether they want to join or whatnot. Rafa has come out after this match and said that he's in favour of it being merged as well. But yeah, ATP Cup, I thought it was fantastic. My concern was that it would be perhaps treated like an exhibition by some of the players. It did replace the Hopman Cup, which was kind of like that, but nope. Every single player took it seriously. Everyone wanted to win. There was some raw emotion out on display. Watching some of the highlights as well, it seems like everyone's doing this round the net post shot on a regular basis. Now it was quite incredible to see a lot of high quality matches in the ATP Cup. So I thought it was a massive success. But please do let me know what you think. Also, can we read too much from today into potentially what could happen in Australia? If Rafa and Novak were to meet again, then would it be a similar one-sided straight serve affair, or did you see enough from Rafa in that second set to make you think differently? And also, you know, with the Medvedev Tsitsipas situation, what could happen? But wow, we begin 2020, a new decade, with two of the big three battling it out just like they did pretty much all of the last decade. So yeah, fantastic match. I'll wrap it up here. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of my insight from the match, a little bit of my take, but also to give you guys a platform. I really do enjoy the fact, like, from my last video, I saw you guys commenting, sharing opinions with one another, having good, respectful debates, which is what this channel's all about, really. The Australian Open is only 1 week away, so you can expect more videos. I'll be releasing probably a live update of the rankings, because as you know, the ATP Cup did award ranking points. The draw will be coming out soon. I'll have my take on that, predictions, of course, and hopefully I'll get one of you guys on the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recap of the final. Yeah, drop your comments below. Can we reach 50 thumbs up? Let's try get that, start off 2020 in a positive way. You guys have never let me down. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe for future videos. And thank you for watching this one.